like Hogwarts is one of those games that you only get in once in a few years. I mean, look at what the game's done. I kind of compare it to something that Elden Ring once did before. I feel like Elden Ring brought a lot of people that didn't even really enjoy gaming or didn't really enjoy playing a different variety of games, or even just like the Dark Souls games in general. They brought everybody together to want to try out a certain game if they never played a Dark Souls game before. And I feel like Hogwarts did that. Never really was I in love with the Harry Potter series. And when this game came out, I still took my chances on it. Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch anything like Harry Potter but come on, man, this game looks freaking sick. I mean, like, who wouldn't want to be a wizard? Who wouldn't want to explore? Who wouldn't want to be a part of one of the 4 houses? So with that being said, I kind of bit the bullet and I spent $70 and I bought it for my PS5. Buy the PS5 version instead of the Steam version. Optimization, baby. Thank you guys for clicking on this video. Welcome to my channel. I am YouLoveNicktana, where we do everything gaming. So if you like that type of stuff, make sure you guys hit the sub button, like all that stuff. But I don't want to waste your guys' time. I want to get into this review. I didn't think I was going to record this today, and I promise, I say that every video, but I really did not think I was going to record something like this. But I need to stop thinking so much about the nilly-willy and making everything so itty-bitty perfect. We're going to talk Hogwarts. I got 45 to 50 to 55 hours into this game. I want to talk about it. I feel like I'm more than qualified to talk about the game. I ended up beating the main course line. I did most of the side quests, and my dude was pretty drippy, to say the least. So kick back, relax, and let's talk some wizardry. For you guys that are on the edge of picking up Hogwarts Legacy or not, let me tell you a little bit of what the game is about. And trust me, I don't want to show spoilers, so say any of the side quests. I'll make sure that you guys are spoiler free throughout the whole thing. But I will be describing certain reasons why I like the game and stuff like that, so you will be informed of certain stuff. Hogwarts Legacy is basically, it takes back a few hundred years before Harry Potter's time, before he even went to school. This game is based off Hogwarts in the 1800s. Basically, the way the game kicks off is you're a 5th-year student coming into Hogwarts, and you get put into your house out of the 4 houses of Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, shout out my motherfucking Hufflepuffs, Slytherin, and Gryffindor. Your job is to figure out all the weird stuff that's been going around in Hogwarts. You are also being chased by an evil bad guy, and basically the whole point of the game is you're gonna go to school just like a typical student would. You would go to your dark arts class, or you would go to your charms class, beast class, astronomy class, potions class, every class you could possibly think of. Yes, guys, you do have to go to school. You gotta play student for a little bit. But while you're doing that, you learn a bunch of different spells, a lot of different potion recipes, and a whole bunch of other stuff to help you in combat. During your time at Hogwarts, you're gonna find a bunch of other characters in the game that you're gonna befriend, do side quests with, and then also just get a relationship for, and really get their side of the story too. A lot of these side quests have really amazing stories, so I really recommend you doing a lot of them. One of the things I did like about this game, like I said earlier in the video, guys, you do not have to know anything jack squat about Harry Potter. You don't have to know absolutely anything. You literally can hop into this game, not read any of the books, not watch any of the movies, not know any of the lore, and just pick up the game and play. I think that is a tremendous way to introduce somebody into the Harry Potter series, because now after playing this game, honestly, me and my wife have been watching some of the movies, and I'm on the second movie, which the end of the second movie was kind of corny. I'm not gonna hold you guys. If you guys haven't saw it by now, I'll spoil this one. Like, to be honest, Harry, the way he killed that snake and how the Phoenix just carried his ass the whole way, come on, bro. That was mad corny. Harry didn't do squat, all right? That Phoenix carried him the whole end of the movie, and I didn't quite like that because it just seemed a little rigged. So there's my I'm sorry if you guys haven't watched the movies, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, because those movies are like back in 2000, so it's time to, like, you're behind the game, I'm behind the game, but at least I'm making an effort to watch them. So, but yeah, anyways, it's been making me want to watch all the older stuff, and I really just feel like it's a great thing to introduce people into the Hogwarts world, into the 4 houses, and into everything lore Harry Potter just by the game. And they do a really great job of putting in Easter eggs for people who really like Harry Potter, and they can explore the Hogwarts house, and they can go into Hogsmeade, and they can see all their favorite places and where they get their wands and your broom and your potions, and seeing a few creatures and few spells that are actually from there that I'm starting to recognize from watching the movie. That's very cool how they really did that. This game also does a very fantastic job of just stuff to do. Like, you will not go into this game bored at all. Let me give you some reasoning behind that. There's literally a million, quadrillion, bajillion things you could do in this game. Demiguise moons, poacher camps, caves, side quests, taming beast in the game. There's so much stuff that you could do. So many places to explore in the actual house to where you just will you want to put your time into the game. A lot of times I feel like when I create content, this is kind of a personal thing for me. So if you want to skip over my sob story, you can, but I gotta get this out because I feel like I have to say it. Sometimes when I play games, I just feel like I gotta get them out because you guys are waiting on them and I haven't put out a video in like 3 weeks. So it's like, I gotta rush this game. I gotta put it out because if I don't, you guys are gonna be mad at me and I don't want you guys to be mad at me and I just try and it's like, what the fuck? So like I rushed through the game, but with this game in general, I took my sweet time. I didn't feel pressured to have to do everything on my stream at twitch.tv/YouLoveNicktana self-promo. I literally played it offline. I did the side quest offline. I grinded caves. I caught beasts. I literally put in my hours offline to find certain stuff in the game. And it's not a boring thing to do. It's not a tedious thing to do. Everything has a purpose and everything is worth going and trying to do. So like exploring in this game, they make it fun. They make it fun. They make it rewarding every single time. You get certain stuff to help you throughout the game, which I love. Going back and talking a little bit about the side quests, like I said, the side quests are very, very intriguing. And some of the stories, without spoiling anything, they're very deep and you feel really attached to a lot of these side characters. The 3 characters that I really enjoyed the most was Natty, Sebastian, and Poppy. They all come from different houses and they all have their little storyline that they follow in their own little reasonings of helping them out, and they hit very hard. When I first started off the game, I had my reasoning for feeling a certain way about a lot of them, but eventually you get deeper and deeper and deeper around the story and into the story of those guys, and it's like you come attached to them and you feel like you pick your chats and your voice lines to kind of express how you feel towards them. And I felt like even with like Sebastian, I could not stand Sebastian in the beginning of the game. I thought Sebastian was a snake, no pun intended. I thought Sebastian was just sitting there and he was trying to degrade me and not be my friend and be like my rival. But then you just get a soft side and you kind of get why he does the things that he does and the path he takes. And it just grabs you by the heartstrings and it makes you feel such a different way. Even though he's a Slytherin, it drives me nuts. I'm not going to say all the side quest characters are absolutely amazing. There are a few of them to where I just like could care less about, or there's some stuff where I could feel like it's a complete drag, but most of the side quests and a lot of the stories, especially in the main ones that you have to do, are very good. One of the things I do want to talk about that I really enjoy about the game that I feel like a lot of people didn't really talk about was all the beasts and the vivariums in the game. Me personally, I come from a long life of me playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and one of the things I loved about that game was Chow World. You had your certain chows and you could make them either a hero chow or a dark chow, breed the chows, you could have different types of chow. Felt like a little bit of what Hogwarts did was kind of put that in the game with a little bit of mix of Pokemon, and let me explain why. I loved all the beasts that you could catch in the game. There's about 13 of them. They all have their certain locations and their certain habitats, and you could catch them all. There's shiny versions of these beasts. There's regular versions of these beasts. You could also breed them to make other beasts and to get cash, and then also you could use it to get feathers and material to upgrade a lot of your items. And I was using this to upgrade a lot of my stuff because they give you 3 upgrade slots to be able to upgrade your clothes. So why not do it? Why not get the materials just to do it? It's easy to do. They have 4 different vibraniums to where you could put up to, I think, 10 creatures in it, but it's just, I like literally made so much fun with that. I ended up having a hippogriff vibranium. I organized them and I made sure they were fed and I made sure they were played with and stuff like that. And it was one of the cool things of the game to where I made it a point to make sure I capture the beast in the game. It was just like a fun little thing to where like, okay, well, I really don't feel like doing the main quest right now, or I'm already back at the rumor requirements, so why not just do it? Okay, now that we're done talking about beasts and vibraniums and all that good stuff, you guys probably want me to talk a little bit about the combat. Let me tell you guys, man, the combat is absolutely fantastic. I know I say a lot of things are fantastic. I know I say a lot of things are great, bro. This game is a fascinating game. They do give you a infinite amount of spells to use in the game. A lot of having their own different types of spells. A lot of them are variated by different colors. So you have spells that are yellow, and you have spells that are purple, and you have spells that are red, you have spells that are blue, you have spells that are green, which they all have their own certain effects and their own certain ways of dealing with enemies. The way that the reason that they are a certain color is a lot of time in boss fights or just regular enemies in general. Sometimes you get a little force field around certain enemies. The only way to get rid of that force field is you have to sit there and correspond the shield with the same color of spell. If you had a red shield, corresponded with a red spell. If it had a yellow shield, you corresponded with a yellow spell, etc. But you could use these spells in very, very different numerous ways. A lot of time I would use mine to combo in a certain way to where I could lift up the enemy, have them in the air, bring them back towards me, and then end up finishing them off with a tough confringo and all that good stuff. So like spells mean a lot when it comes to comboing certain characters and to defeat them a lot faster, because combos do mean a lot in this game. The best thing about it is you can get so many infinite amount of spells. All you got to do is make sure you go to your classes, make sure you check up on your side quest, and whatever side quest offers you a new spell to learn, I would recommend you try to learn as many spells as fast as possible. Getting to the part you guys probably think wasn't gonna happen, but we're gonna talk about the negatives of the game, and I have a few, not a lot, but I mean, it's stuff that's worth talking about, because you were probably like, oh man, this game is perfect, it's amazing. Nah, every game has its downfalls, and I'm not gonna let Hogwarts slip away like that. Even though I did enjoy the game, this might be my favorite game I played all year. It has its problems. You guys have a right to say whatever you guys gotta say. Personally, in my opinion, I feel like this game didn't have any sort of challenge to it, and I feel like that didn't make me very accomplished when I beat a lot of the bosses and enemies in the game. I maybe died about as many fingers as I have on both of my hands. Most of the time it was just falling off of cliffs. These are personally my opinions. I played the game on normal difficulty because I feel like that is what they steer most players to play at. I just really felt like in the game I didn't have a challenge at all. A lot of the times I was able to move freely. I wasn't really dying a lot. I had potions at all times. I never felt like I was in fear of losing everything in the game. If I were to play it next time, or if you were to do a playthrough and you want a little bit of a challenge, I would honestly put it on too hard, versus like normal feels like an easy to me. But that's just personally my opinion. I just might be the best gamer of all time, but in my opinion, I just felt like the game was a little too easy for my tasting, and like beating stuff in the game and even beating the final boss and a lot of these big bosses in these big moments, it didn't feel hard. It didn't feel like accomplished. I wasn't when I beat a boss in Elden Ring type energy type hype. I want that type of feeling. Bringing up another point, I felt like the enemies, they had a very lack of enemies. You basically get the same bunch of stuff. It's a bunch of goblins, spiders, poachers, weird zombie looking skeleton things. There wasn't a lot of variety when it comes to enemies. The effort really didn't seem there for that type of stuff. But I will say, going back to kind of what I liked about the enemies, I did like that you had to approach certain enemies a different type of way. For instance, when you go up against those armored frog things, you have to find a way to deal a lot more damage by actually using certain spells and timing them out and attacking them a certain way to kill them. It makes it a little bit more funner to battle these things. You can't just go into using the same attacks against certain enemies. Have a different game plan and a different set of spells to kill a bunch of these enemies. I just really flat out just thought they could have done a better job of adding a little bit more enemies into the game. It's because it just felt like at some point it's like, okay, we're in a cave. What does that mean? Since we're in a cave, probably gonna fight spiders. In this area, this is definitely a goblin area. They didn't have a vast amount of. I'm gonna keep this one quick. This next one that I didn't like was no Quidditch. That's all I have to say on that. It's a freaking L that Quidditch wasn't in the game, but I'm hoping they look for something else in the next game, because I have a feeling they're gonna have a next game. One of the things I will nitpick a little bit about is when they give you a broom in the game. The broom is absolutely cool, and you would think flying around is actually fun, but I found myself a lot of time not even using the broom. Even like when I maxed out the broom, I felt like it was still not as fast as like a fast travel. Oh, obviously, Nick, fast travel is the fastest way. So like I really didn't feel like there was a way to get on my broom, because a lot of the time, even if I wanted to walk to something very far away, I would just walk, because a lot of the times you're running into certain things that you're going to pass up on the way, like certain flames to fast travel to, Merlin trials, even beast habitats, and a bunch of stuff to help you progress yourself in the game. So a lot of time I ended up just walking through a lot of these areas and not using the broom at all. I use my broom a handful of times. Oh, we got to do the races, or we got to do stuff like that. And the one thing I will also say that did kind of bug me is Hogwarts. So what are we doing? These drip changes, because literally all I wanted to do was keep the same drip all freaking game. I had my special Hufflepuff robe. I've had my Hufflepuff scarf, my hat that I was wearing. I had all my gloves, and I had everything attached. But once you switch to certain products or certain clothes and gear in the game, it takes off your appearance and you have to re-put on the appearance. Just make it easy, because you know we're going to pick the same thing over and over again. Keep it to what we have it set to. Let us set a default, because at that point, I'm literally just sitting there and find something better. I'm going to equip that because I want to make sure that I make it through the game, because it was very tedious having to re-find everything and reselect everything when you know you're just going to find a better robe. I feel like that was just one of the more irritating parts in the game. A lot of my negatives are nitpick things. Oh my God, this makes this game unplayable, or it makes me not want to buy it. No, I will just say that there's some things in this doesn't make this game perfect. Overall, everything about the game was amazing. Exploring Hogwarts, graphics were beautiful. The side quests I absolutely loved. They made it to where the game wasn't boring and you just wanted to immerse yourself into the Harry Potter world. Getting your first wand, going to your first class, learning your first spell. Everything about the game is a very amazing time to me, even without me being the biggest of Harry Potter's fans. I just straight up enjoyed it. It made me into a Harry Potter fan and wanted me to go back to watch everything. And that has to mean something for a game to be able to want to do that. Overall, if I had to give this game a rating, I'd give it like a 9 out of 10. It's not absolutely perfect. It did a lot of stuff very well, but it didn't do a lot of things to perfection, and it didn't get to reach that 10 out of 10. I will say it does have a chance to compete for Game of the Year as of now. We are very, very early into the year, but I think this game can compete, and I definitely am going to keep on going back into the game because the replay value is just there to go back, finish all the side quests, make sure I collect all the field guide pages, the Demiguise moons, the Merlin trials, defeat all the poacher camps. It's fun to do, and it doesn't feel like it's draining. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully I didn't go on too long and dragging on. I kind of want to make these things as fast as possible. Thank you guys for all the love and support, man. I'm out. If you guys want to do me a favor, make sure you guys check out one of my other videos that I'm going to post up on the screen right now. And if you guys did like this type of content, it would mean the world if you guys subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Be safe. Tell someone you love them. Hufflepuff Tana out. Later.